Hey everyone, in this video we're going to run a cheese through an eighth note 4-2-1. So let's drum through it first and then we'll talk about it. This is at 1:15. So as far as the rhythms we're playing and counting them, we've got 1 E and, so 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So this exercise is obviously a combination of practicing the flam through an eighth note 4-2-1 and practicing a diddle through a 4-2-1. So most of the things I've said in those exercises are going to apply here as well. For instance, even at slower speeds where I would normally stop the stick, when I'm playing a double stroke, I would have more of a tendency to rebound because there's not as much space in between the second note there and then the first note again. You only have 2 16th note rests, whereas if I were just playing a single note, you have 3 16th note rests. So I would err on rebounding everything in a double stroke if I could, and it still is more comfortable to do that even at the slower speeds here. And then everything we talked about with the grace note would apply as well. I would play them all at the tap height, 3 inches. Like I said in the other video, some people might play your grace note as a 1-inch tap. I don't do that, I don't teach that, but in some cases that may apply. But everything, like I said, from the flam eighth note 4-2-1 and the diddle eighth note 4-2-1, pretty much just combine them, and that's practicing the cheese version. Something that I do want to touch on though is when you play back-to-back cheeses, only the first one gets a flam. So where back-to-back single flams or single noted flams would each get their own grace note, back-to-back cheeses, really you could kind of think of it as just the first one is a cheese, the second one is just a double stroke or diddle. And the reason for that is because if that second one were to also truly be a cheese and have its own grace note, your left hand in this case would be playing its 2 notes, its double stroke, and then it would need to also play the grace note for the following cheese that you were going to play. So you'd be playing 3 notes in a row, which you can certainly do, but you're kind of practicing a different thing at that point. That would be more of like a flam tap type exercise. So in this similar structure, you could have but typically when we do cheeses, just the first one gets a flam, everything after that is really just a diddle. That's just normally how we practice them, and that kind of helps also as we start to play faster and faster. You can kind of have that more of a quick, faster roll speed with just that flam at the beginning of it, rather than trying to play hyper fast flam taps. So just like we did with the normal flammed version of the eighth note 4-2-1, let's play this a little bit faster, and without changing the met, we're going to leave it at 1:15, and we're going to play this triplets. So for instance, the 4 section, the way we normally would play it here as eighth notes would be, and as triplets we'll do the whole thing, 2, 3, 4. And that can be a really good mental exercise. It's fun to play a little bit faster, and it also takes a little bit of effort to figure out how to play the right number of notes and accents and everything in a completely different rhythmic structure. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions or want to see anything else. And otherwise, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you next time.